Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here and it's time for my September wrap up. September was a really good reading month for me, both in terms of how much I read and the ratings of the books that I read as well. So I managed to read 22 things this month and 2 of those were 5-star reads, 16 of those were 4-star reads and 4 of those were 3-star reads. So let's get into the books and the ratings. I'll start with the 3-star reads. Frostblood, Space Dumplings, Foxlow by Eleanor Wasserberg, Chasing the Stars by Mallory Blackman. Now for the 4-star reads. Roses by Rose Mannering, Barefoot on the Wind by Zoe Marriott, Lady Susan by Jane Austen, I Hate Fairyland Issue 8, Caraval, The Elizabeth Papers by Janetta James, Tiny Pretty Things, Cherry by Lindsay Rosen, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me by Sarah Manning, The Protector by Jodie Ellen Malpass, May Issues 1, 2, 3 and 4, Mystery Girl Volume 1 and A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. And now for the 2 5-star reads, and they were Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell and Tall Oaks by Chris Whitaker. Now, as usual, I'm going to talk to you very briefly about Tall Oaks and Eleanor and Park, which are my 2 5-star reads of the month. First, let's talk about Eleanor and Park. I found this book entirely heartbreaking and probably, well, definitely my favourite Rainbow Rowell book that I've read so far. I think this was the book that made me cry the most after Paper Butterflies, which I read a number of months ago, and it was really cathartic to have a good old cry at a book and to have a book touch me that emotionally that I really cried hard. At first look, this is a story of a boy and a girl, but it's just so much more than that. We have Park. He's your general average teenager. He's not the most popular, he's not the most unpopular, he's just your average guy. He's on the bus on his way to school one day and Eleanor walks on and she is totally different to anybody that he has seen before. She dresses differently, she looks differently, she acts differently to anyone that he's known before, and she also has a very different home life to Park. With Park, he lives in a house with both his parents and his brother, and he lives near his grandparents. However, Eleanor has a much more tumultuous home life with a stepfather and a number of siblings, and it's just a very different way of living to Park. However, they form a bond and things progress from there. I loved the voices in this book, the fact that we changed perspective, not just every chapter, but sometimes from paragraph to paragraph, which really helped move the story along, gave it momentum, made it feel like you were sort of with them as they were flitting between having a conversation and you're entering into their thoughts, which I really, really enjoyed. And it was emotional, and I think it didn't shy away from a harder ending. And I'm not saying it was a terrible sort of a miserable ending, but it didn't shy away from not making it your cliche, everything's sweet and light and fluffy at the end, which I really, really respected. So I really loved this one and I gave it 5 stars, as you know. The other one is Tall Oaks by Chris Whitaker. I have got a full video review on that, which I will link down below, but I really, really loved this book. From the first chapter in this book, the author had me on tenterhooks. I was scared and nervous. It tapped into my 2 biggest nightmares. One, that Matilda will disappear in the middle of the night, and 2 clowns. And instantly I was like, oh, am I going to be able to handle this? But actually, as the story progressed, we got further away, not necessarily from what the main crux of the story is, which is that a little boy has gone missing. But we moved around the town that's surrounded where this event has happened, and we followed numerous different people's stories. So we're in a small American town. As I say, a little boy has gone missing. We follow the mother of this little boy. We follow the policeman who's investigating the case. We follow neighbours in the town. We follow people in the town, a young man who works in a photo shop. We follow his journey with his mother, who he is caring for. And throughout the story, we are still trying to uncover what is happening with this little boy's disappearance. My favourite character by far is a young boy called Manny, who is just hilarious and walks around dressed as a gangster and talks about shaking down local businesses for protection money, and he is really fun and such a great character. So this book definitely captured my attention. It was unputdownable and the writing was great. It was descriptive, there was plenty of tension building. I can't promote this enough. If you really enjoy mystery thrillers, then this is definitely one for you. It's probably my favourite so far this year, and I would say that the ending just ripped my heart out, but it was just so good and so twisty-turny. Oh, I just think you need to read it. So anyway, this month, Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell and Tall Oaks by Chris Whitaker are my 2 5-star reads. So that's what I've read this month. What have you read this month? Have you read any 5-star reads? As always, let me know in the comments down below and let's chat about that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.